friends and fiends, it's me again. I wanted to talk a little bit about what I think could be done to help the education system in this country. I look at countries like Great Britain, Australia, Japan, China, and see how their education systems work. I honestly find this subject so interesting. I know it's weird, but I find studying the education systems of different countries interesting. And the reason why is because they are so different from the United States. And it's usually different in a good way. I mean, I even look at Korean schools and how the kind of lunches they serve to their kids is just so much better than what kids here in the United States get. And I find myself thinking, if kids in Korean schools can get that kind of a good lunch, why can't kids in the United States get that kind of a good lunch? I mean, they have fresh vegetables, fresh fruit, it's just all fresh, and it's good for them. It's not like all fried and battered and, ugh, yeah, not fresh, canned, and I just want to see more of that in schools, because I think that the childhood obesity problem that apparently is plaguing this country can seriously be helped by reforming the school lunch menu. And it's not to say that you need to serve seaweed salad, but maybe more actual salad. Like, personally, I am not that big of a fan of iceberg lettuce, but I love me some baby spinach. Maybe switch it up a bit. One day have iceberg lettuce, one day have baby spinach, one day have fruit salad of some kind, one day have a broccoli salad, different kinds of things instead of just the same old, same old. That's another thing about American schools, is it's the same things over and over again, and the kids just don't really care for it usually, and if they do, it's not good for them. Let's see. Lunch menu, that can change. Education system in general. Last time I spoke to someone about the education system in Great Britain, they start kindergarten a year earlier than we do here. Some parents, it's better for them to keep their kids home and teach them themselves, and the kids will learn more. However, in some cases, they usually benefit better from going to school that year earlier. So what I'm thinking is maybe that could work, maybe that could not. But if I think that homeschooling should be an option for kindergarten, and make it like legitimate, give them a little certificate for graduating kindergarten after they pass a certain state test. That way they can say, hey, my kid went to kindergarten and they did awesomely. Or, my kid was homeschooled and they did even better than this kid that went to the actual school. That would be kind of cool. But yeah, start them out early. I know that starting them out yourself at home is usually a good option. It's good for bonding, it's good for this, it's good for that. But I think that the option needs to be there for them to start a little bit earlier. That way they can go on and graduate a little bit earlier. Also, moving forward, the fact that a lot of American classes have been severely dumbed down. They have this No Child Left Behind thing. Excuse me, I have the burps tonight for some reason. Anyway, it's a good thing. It is a good thing. It is honestly a good thing to keep kids from being left behind by their peers. However, I think that if they honestly cannot keep up with the work, you should not lower lower it to where it's easier for them. You should not give them a free pass. You should either give them the option of going to summer school and passing a test at the end of the summer in order to move forward, or you should just go ahead and hold them back. It is better for them in the long run. It will help the country as a whole in the terms of education. But the education system in this country, although good in some ways, could definitely use some work in others. I mean, they've started making, at least in this state, they've started making some, chapped lips. We started making some movements to reform the system a bit. I mean, they're requiring more math, they're requiring more foreign language. I mean, since I left school, they started requiring another year of math, and they've started requiring at least 1 year of foreign language. I also believe that there should be better choices in foreign languages. I understand that Spanish is important because there are so many immigrants in this country who speak only Spanish or whose English skills are lacking and they can communicate better in their native language, but I really hate to be this person, but I think that there needs to be more of a effort made to accustom them to English rather than us trying to accustom ourselves to Spanish, if that makes any sense. I know this sounds really, really terrible of me to say, but I do honestly think that when you go to another place, it's good for you to learn their language rather than them trying to learn yours. I mean, being a possible future tourist, I look at the destinations that I want to go, and Japan, China, and I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to learn these different languages, and just to be able to get around, there's not going to be anyone that speaks English, or at least I shouldn't expect that. I mean, if somebody's there who speaks English, oh my gosh, that would be so awesome. But if they can't, then I should not expect it. I should be expecting them to know their language, maybe know a couple words in mind due to the fact that there are other tourists who come out there and try to speak to them, but I honestly think that it should not be our responsibility to become accustomed to other languages coming into this country. However, I think that learning a second language is good for the brain. I have tried to teach myself a second language, and it is so hard. If you can learn a second language and you can learn it fluently, that is so freaking awesome of you. But, yeah, they need to focus more on teaching English and stop giving them free passes. I'm on the internet a lot. I admit it. I am on the internet a freaking lot. And I see these kids typing in text speak, and I'm sitting here wondering, do you guys even go to English class? Do you sleep through that class? Why aren't you using proper English? Is it because you're on the internet? Is it because you don't know? Is it because you don't care? I mean, I'm bad at spelling, and my grammar is not always perfect, but, you know, try. I try. I honestly do. I have spell check on every single one of my browsers simply because I hate misspelling things, because I know someone out there is looking at that and thinking, oh my god, she is so stupid. How could she possibly misspell that word? But English class, they certainly need to step up their game and start grading more harshly. More math classes, I think that they need to focus more on the teaching of math rather than the just pushing them through it. I mean, advanced math is hard, but I think that with the proper teacher, kids could learn it. I mean, I made it through geometry really well, but I was terrible at algebra. But I was only terrible at algebra because my teachers just said, read the book, do the assignment, and or they tried to explain things in a way that was so confusing that I just couldn't get it. But our best teachers should go for math. I honestly think so. If you can get a kid to understand something that is incredibly complex, teaching math or teaching advanced science of some kind. Chemistry, physics, things like that. That's another thing, science. I think that science is very, very good. I think that there need to be more advanced science courses, maybe AP, advanced placement, that for those of you who are foreign, that's where you get college credit for taking science classes and getting your credits for high school. So pretty much you're taking one class and getting double credit for it, which is super cool. I never did it in high school because I was never able to get into those classes because they were full. Not just that, but because AP Science, AP Math, that scared me a bit. AP English, I did not take it because the teacher hated me. She and I did not get along at all. Not at all. But, anyway, back to the education system. Enough about my high school exploits. I honestly think that history, they need to focus on the lessons learned from history and not just learning the history. I mean, learning the history is important, but learning the lessons that you get from history is also important. I mean, take for example, when Napoleon tried to invade Russia in the middle of winter, ill-prepared, he didn't fare so well. And then look who came in and tried to do it after he did. Hitler, who also tried to invade Russia in the middle of winter, ill-prepared. Oh, they will expect us attacking. It's the middle of winter. They may not expect it, but the weather would surely expect it, and it would hit you hard. But anyway, things like that. Things like the Great Depression here in America. That's a good thing to study. It would certainly shed some light on what's going on right now. Whew. It's chilly in here. Did I turn on my heater? Yeah, I turned on my heater. Yeah, I honestly think that kids need to study more about the lessons taught from history more than just memorizing the history and then forgetting it. Whenever a student acts up in class, I think that expulsion and suspension are more harmful than in-school suspension. In-school suspension is something I seriously believe in. And I don't think that you need to just give them easy work either. I think that the same work they're doing in class and possibly a bit more advanced than that. Keep them busy. Keep them busy. You're bad students, you gotta keep them busy, or else they will continue to act up. I shouldn't say bad students, I should say misbehaving children. But I think that if you kept them busy, made them focus on something, and continue focusing on something, that would help a lot. They wouldn't have time to go and bully so-and-so or destroy such and such, and they wouldn't be able to sit there and talk, so they wouldn't be able to cuss up a storm, and, keep them busy. But other than beefing up the education system, doing away with this No Child Left Behind thing. I say keep pushing them through. Do not keep pushing them through school. Keep them in the same grade and just keep trying and trying and trying to teach them exactly what it is that they are having so much trouble with. Because eventually, someone is going to come along who can tell these kids in the way that they need to be told how to do what it is that they're messing up on, and then things will go so much better. But I think that if we reform the education system, the economy will pick back up. And when the economy picks back up, everyone is happy. Have a good night.